These people don't give a shit.
He's giving them the business.
All the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He got it.
Goes Davis.
Oh my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back.
Deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herman Whitfield to the 30. To the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
Week 3, college football action coming at you fast. I'm Robert, he's Davis, he's Joey. Welcome back to the College Football Extravaganza podcast. Like us, we're on the Higher Frequency Podcast Network on YouTube, College Football Extravaganza on Facebook. CFBE Extravaganza, Instagram, Twitter. Welcome back, guys. Davis and I returning to the podcast. Our last show we did on ESPN Radio Pensacola. And that was pretty cool. I just got the audio today, so I'm going to rip it and edit it with the film and put it together and put it up just for fun. It'll be a little bit late, but I mean, it's a cool experience. It was. I know you've been on the radio a lot. You were used to it, but that was my first time getting to be on a show on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice going back and doing it. It was nice getting to.
They need you, man. You were figuring shit out on the on the P's
I know,
and Q's.
dude. It's like things were falling apart left and right. The broadcast went off at one point, and then when the game started, apparently they weren't on air. I ultimately think what happened was they just logged into the wrong access point, the Comrex, and I think it was as simple as that. I really do. So, hey, they figured it out. We got to go and enjoy the game. We couldn't buy beer, unfortunately, because we didn't bring cash. What the? Oh, that was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to go walk all the way back to my car to go grab my beer that I had in my backpack.
Yeah, that was really dumb. For them only to take cash. But I will say they did not search our bags. We could have took the whole pack in there.
So next time they host a game at UWF, we can give it a try. But
yeah,
other than that,
all right,
it's still fun nonetheless.
Let's move to week 2 and tell everyone we were right, we were wrong about whatever we were right and wrong about. I want to give a shout out to Coastal Carolina kicking ass on Friday, kicked Kansas ass. It actually looked like a pretty good game at first, and then Coastal ran away with it. So scoring 49 points. Like I said, they're going to be scoring 40, 50 points a game this week. Next, matchups on Saturday. Alabama blew Mercer out. Nick Saban's not happy. So, yeah.
I know. Saban's a weird cat, man, because he looks at a team like Mercer and he still wants to keep his team motivated and no, this team could sneak up on you. You never know.
Yeah.
Like we played really good in the first half, but then in the second half, it was like, I think he maybe said this about Miami, but he's like, we still, they almost outscored us in the second half. I don't know. He's a weird guy.
I almost bet on Alabama every week, but I never bet on them on these weird Mercer type games just because, I don't know, it's weird. How do you keep team motivated whenever you go up on them? Fucking, what was it, 31-0 in the first half?
Yeah. I remember when Tuscaloosa, when the students would just leave the game in the second quarter so you can go back drink.
And Nick Saban yelled at them.
Yeah, he did, because that's what Saban do, right?
Yeah.
And I get it, but that's what happens when you play these little cupcake teams and you're winning 40-0 at halftime. I lost interest. I'll go to a bar and watch the Texas A&M Colorado game or something else.
I don't know the students, but Alabama shouldn't be playing teams like Mercer.
No,
that's just embarrassing.
I mean, it helps the economy. I guess helps Mercer out as small.
It does help.
But anyway, Nick Saban, you should be way more grateful because you could be like Florida State and lose to Jacksonville State. Oh no! All right, Joey, I'm gonna let you go.
I don't even know what you say. I don't know. If you've listened to this podcast, you've probably figured out that I'm not a huge Mike Norvell fan at this point. I mean, to be honest with you, the easiest thing in the world would be if he was a good coach at Florida State. I just haven't seen it. It was the worst coach football game I've watched, and I watched Willie Taggart coach football games.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it's he didn't take the game serious, and it really makes me question whether he's a good evaluator of talent or not. Like the recruiting class looks good so far, which is great. Like you're not going to keep it together if you go fucking 2-10, which is what it looks like you're going to go this year. So I don't know. Like, man, you don't have the talent to not take anyone seriously. And he goes out there and he's putting Mackenzie Milton on the field with Jordan Travis, trying to do all this cute shit. I mean, it was just pathetic. The team played like the coach wasn't taking it serious. The play calls down the stretch whenever you were, whenever it was a one-score football game were ridiculous. I hope Mike Norvell's successful, but I don't know. It looks like it's going to be Coach Dion in 2 or 3 years. So,
Yeah. There was
there's nothing you can say about it.
Yeah, there was like a 4th down or a 3rd down. I think in the 3rd or 4th quarter. I had to catch the highlights of this game. I'm not gonna lie. But they went into the Wildcat formation and didn't make the
well. Well, the thing is, the Wildcats been very successful for Mike over the last 2-3 years, or I guess the last year at Florida State. Like it has been successful, but I don't know. Like when you I'm 100% in favor of Mackenzie Milton starting. I think he's a way better quarterback than Jordan Travis is. But you got to utilize Jordan Travis. You have to. And so when you're up by 2 scores, 17-7, you're got a 1st and goal with it inside the 8-yard line. If you put Jordan Travis in the game, you're going to score a touchdown.
Yeah, he's gonna juke around he's gonna get in the end zone.
Give them 4 plays, they'll score. And they just run these asinine plays. And the 4th and 4, you throw a fade to a true freshman wide receiver. Like, I mean, it was just crazy play calling. And then they have 2 running backs, Trayshawn Ward and Deshaun Corbin, who are like really top of the line running backs who were in a rhythm, and they didn't run them at all in the 4th quarter. Yeah. You could just let Deshaun Corbin run over Jacksonville State for a 4th quarter, and he'd win the football game.
He broke one for 90-something yards against Notre Dame, or was that in the Jacksonville State game?
89, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even going to talk about the last play on defense, how stupid it was running cover 2 when you know they're throwing a Hail Mary. Like that, I mean, Adam Fuller's going to get fired before the end of the season. It's hard. Mike Norvell won't just because he can't afford to fire him. And as long as he keeps the recruiting class intact, he still has a job.
Yeah. You at the very least go cover 4, right? Like at the very least, if not prevent defense.
I don't know if you guys heard this part of the story, but Jacksonville State ran the same play the play before, and their coach said that the same guy was open on the same play the play before. And FSU didn't change defenses, and then they score in the last play of the game to win. So, I mean, it's just the worst coach game in the history. It is the worst loss in the history of Florida State football. It is.
This is the Georgia Southern of Florida State.
Yeah, it's the worst loss in the history of Florida State football, and now that's on your record. And now, like, I don't know where he goes from here. I don't know where I go from here. I'm so indifferent about Florida State football at this point. Like, I just don't care. Basketball season's coming up, and we're going to be fucking good. So, get ready.
I don't even know, man. Like, it was ugly, that last play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't even know. I'm not gonna dig a bigger hole, but
yeah. And then the Florida State defender gets popped in the mouth right there at the end, just to add a little salt on the wound. That sucked. You know, he knew he was going in the end zone. Jacksonville State player just got him. That's okay. You have to take some of those. Maybe they bounce back. I hope they do.
No, Robert. What you
I like Mike Norvell.
You don't have to take losses to FCS teams as a Power 5 football team. As a Florida State, you don't. You just don't. But we did.
Mm-hmm. Look. All I'm saying is he's still got Willie Taggart plays in there. He's trying to change the culture.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He completely replaced all the Willie Taggart players who are pieces of shit with transfers. This is his team. It is his team.
So you're saying this is all Mike Norvell right now. This is all on him.
Yeah.
No, I don't say. Well, I understand your the way you would feel. You're a frustrated Florida State fan. You read it a little bit differently than I would, but it's like I was listening to Lee Corso on College Game Day. I mean, you can barely understand.
You could understand him.
Yeah, you could barely understand it, but he said back in my day, you have a rough couple of years, but once you can actually bring in the players that you want to recruit and build your team, that's when you can start being successful. That would never happen today. So it's very rare you have a coach that can last a couple of years with mediocre seasons before they're out, especially at premier schools like Florida State. I like Norvell. I do. I still like him. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Florida fan. There are things about him that I like, and I hope that he can make it through this year and bring in another recruiting class and, make it happen.
Right now he will make it through this year. One, Florida State's paying Willie Taggart way too much to coach for FAU for us to fire Mike Norvell. We are not a cash flush school, so we cannot pay to fire him. We can pay to fire his defensive coordinator, which is going to happen unless he does something crazy. Like he is really lucky that they got Jermaine Johnson to transfer to Florida State because he is leading the nation in sacks, tackles for loss, and there's some other stat he's leading the nation in. And the other thing is he has this recruiting class that is ranked in the top 5 right now. Mm-hmm. But as soon as we start losing games, right now, really, if we win 3 games this season, we're lucky. And is he going to be able to keep that recruiting class intact with that kind of record?
That's really the question. Yeah. In today's world where kids decommit and reevaluate the situation on the daily.
Go Saquon! I need the fantasy points.
There you go. We got the Washington.
I'm so far ahead of you.
I got my ass kicked last week in fantasy.
Ohio's got that good TV, don't they?
I guess so.
Yeah. All right. So we'll keep it in Florida and also in the ACC. Miami squeaked by Appalachian State. So Miami just not looking good as well. And they nearly lost that game.
Miami stinks. And we're going to talk about it when we talk about their game against Michigan State. I don't know what Vegas thinks, but
no, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we're definitely gonna hammer it. To me, that's money right now. Like, unless if Miami comes out a completely different team, then they still lose because I think Michigan State's good. I don't know why Michigan State isn't ranked. They're still not ranked, I guess. So I don't know what the hell's up with that. We'll get to it though.
Clearly, the AP poll still loves Miami because they're at least ranked 24th.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't. They're going to drop out this week. I guess we'll get to that. We'll move on. I just wanted to say, Miami, you're disappointing me this year. Very disappointing. Stay in Florida. Kick it with the big 3. Florida takes care of South Florida, even though South Florida did put up a 20-burger on Florida due to a couple of Emory Jones turnovers. So the quarterback debate goes on with Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson, right? Anthony Richardson, first player to throw and run for over 100 yards in a game since who knows when, and complete all of his passes, which was only 3, but at a certain point he was 2 for 2 for like 140, 160 yards. Absolutely insane. But he did kind of pull a hammy there.
Yeah, he tweaked his hammy, but apparently he's doing fine. Like, he's practiced every day this week, and he's been getting reps.
Mm-hmm. That hammy sucks though, man. Like, that's one of those you gotta make sure you're on it, or else it'll do it again.
Well, it's like you could be fine all week in practice, but then you'll take one step in the game and you'll tweak it again. So
yeah.
It does suck to deal with, but
we need him. We need him for this week. That's it.
Dan Mullen a few times has done this where he'll have a very good quarterback on the bench while the quarterback ahead is struggling, and he just won't pull the trigger unless it becomes too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm talking about Felipe Franks. With Emory Jones, it's like he has his moments. He has his moments where he'll put the ball on a dime, and then he'll overthrow the receiver by 10 yards. I like his ability to scramble. I thought, whenever he runs, he'll fall forward and get 5 yards. So I like that. But Richardson, I want to see more of, and I think the fans want to see a lot more of. And the commenters were saying the same thing. They were saying, I don't really understand. He's thrown 2 interceptions in a row, but yet he's back out there. Richardson's done really well the entire game. The fans want to see him. At some point, when is he going to put him in the game and let him actually go? And sure enough, he puts him back in the game. He runs for a touchdown, unfortunately tweaks his hammy. But it's been nothing but really positives, and I want to see more of it. I don't want to just get spurts of it. I want to see more and see if it's something that can be consistent.
Yeah. I agree with you, but I do think you keep Emory Jones in even after those picks just to get him the reps because this is his first year starting. He's still got to get the reps in and get used to the speed of a real football game and the reads. And what's the worst thing that can happen? You put Anthony Richardson in against USF, and he breaks his ankle, and then he's out the rest of the season.
Yeah, but now you take Alabama, and Emory Jones is going to start the ball game. And I know we're going to get into that ball game. Maybe I should save my thoughts, but Emory Jones, what we know is going to start the game.
Yeah, I'm going to save my thoughts for Florida when we talk about the Alabama game because I got a lot.
Gotcha. All right, moving on. Stanford beats USC. That was a surprise to me. I'm glad I didn't put a bet down on that one. Didn't even get to catch it, but looked like Stanford had the running game going. Let's see. Yeah, 115 yards by Pete. Mr. Pete. Nathaniel Pete.
Yeah.
Yep. So
this is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is a weird one for me because I was high on USC to start the season. I didn't put anything down on this, but I would have picked USC. And Stanford looks so bad to start the season. I was on him. Stanford was one of my – I don't know if it was one of my on the show locks, but it was one of my bets to start the season against Kansas State. And they just looked terrible. And then they come out and beat the shit out of USC. And USC, they fired Clay Helton. They were looking for a reason to fire Clay Helton, and he just gave it to him. He fed it to him on this game.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily think he's a bad coach. I think it's kind of like, I don't know if y'all heard this. Willie Taggart said earlier last week that, or maybe it was the beginning of the season, that he got the FSU job too early in his career. Yeah. And I think that's probably true. He wasn't ready for it. I don't know if he'll ever be ready for it, but I know he wasn't ready for it then. And I think this is definitely true for Clay Helton. I think Clay Helton can be a good coach. And I think he will end up being a good coach. I think it just might have been a little too early for him. And USC is not a school to wait. And I'm surprised they waited this long on him. I don't know. We'll see where this team goes from here. They made their cornerbacks coach their head coach. Yeah. That kind of seems weird to me. But I don't know. We'll see where they go. I'm going to stay away from them for a while.
Wasn't Todd Helton the coach that was hired over Ed Orgeron?
Yep.
Ed Orgeron was the interim coach.
They didn't hire him. They didn't give him a full-time job. They gave it to Todd. They gave it to
Clay.
Todd. That's baseball.
Clay Helton, yeah.
Go Trojans doesn't have the same ring.
And I had to drink some Snoop Dogg rosé.
Yes. Oh, I tried some. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, that one. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I got this one. This was one of my locks. I had Colorado covering against Texas A&M. Texas A&M nearly loses 10-7. Jimbo Fisher, your mundane offense, and also the starting quarterback is now hurt for Texas A&M going into an important Week 3 game. So that's something we'll cover there.
Which contributed to their performance, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch that game. I just kept up with it, like via ESPN and like their in-game updates. But I mean, Colorado is not exactly like a.
They're not. Colorado's a good football team. Yeah, Texas A&M.
It's a classic Jimbo Fisher performance. This happened all the time in Florida State. It's nothing to worry about for Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I don't think it's indicative of how the team actually is because, like you said, Jimbo Fisher offense, and then also their quarterback's out. And also, I think it's an away game at Colorado. It's a defensive ball game. It's a good, it's a good team.
I was wrong. You guys are both right on this. I was wrong. Hand up.
All right. Big one. As we were on ESPN radio, we were talking about Notre Dame almost losing to Toledo. We were watching that very last second. Notre Dame avoids an upset. at the Jesus field.
So,
yeah.
So, and, by the way, shout out to Jack Cohn. He finished that game, threw the game-winning touchdown with a broken finger.
They had to relocate it back in. That was crazy.
Your ultimate tough guy move.
Uh-huh.
But
he didn't play the whole game though, right? They brought the other quarterback in.
I don't remember if they did it. They probably did. I don't remember. I mean, he broke his freaking finger,
and then they brought Jack Cohn back in. Yeah.
But it made me think back to the Florida State Notre Dame game. It made me wonder, like, okay, was that we were so hyped up about that game? Was it really the game we thought? We still have a long season ahead of us.
It was not. I'll answer that for you.
It was classic Week 1 overhype game.
It's like Florida Miami a while ago when Florida
you guys overhyped it
year, but Miami did not. Like they won 6 games, I think.
Well, look, I think it's plain to see that Brian Kelly not happy with Notre Dame. Even
he wants to execute his players.
He wants to execute the whole team.
Said that last.
He hasn't been wrong.
Yeah, said that last week, and then this week in the locker room at halftime, he goes, "Toledo is beating you at your home stadium. What are you gonna do about it?"
How funny would it have been if Brian Kelly just said the same exact joke after this game?
The callback.
What I said last week. I'm back at that.
The callback.
Not even if he said that. If he would have just went into the interview and
kill
said
him.
the same exact thing again, that would honestly, I would win me over on Brian Kelly. I hate him. I think he's an idiot. I would love him if he did that. Just second time over.
He just whispers. He's like, "Hey, can you bring up execution real quick? In favor of it."
I'm in favor.
I'll do it.
I'm in favor of executing them all.
Yep, but watch out, Notre Dame. You got a tough schedule ahead of you. If you're going to be, if you're going to keep that ranking at 8, definitely don't deserve that at this point. I think this next week, if we don't see them drop back some, the polls are rigged. Polls are rigged. All right, big game, Iowa State. This is where you were wrong, Davey boy, and
I was wrong.
Breece Hall fumbled the ball at a pivotal moment. Doesn't matter. They weren't moving the ball that well all game. And Iowa's defense, top notch, very good defense this year. Iowa is a very, very good team. I like Iowa.
Yeah. So I was telling Robert before we started this, I have a betting pool where you have to pick your 5 most confident games. I went 5-0 this week in those games. This was one of them. It was one of my locks on this show. And I'll start off with Iowa State. I believe, they're a slow starting team. I believe in them. I still think they're going to be good. They're going to be in contention for the Big 12 title this season. But, I mean, this rivalry game, Iowa dominates. And Iowa's got a good team this year. I picked against them to start the season. I won't pick against them again, probably. I think they're going to win. They're going to beat Wisconsin, and they're going to win the Big 10 West. Is it the West, or is it the Leaders, the Legends? I don't know what division it is anymore. But I think they're going to win that. And hell, if Ohio State doesn't start looking better, I think they might be able to win that conference.
Oh, okay, I like it. I think Iowa might be able to win that. Iowa State's in the Big 12, right? Like, were you talking about Iowa State?
Yeah,
beating?
Iowa State's in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Iowa's in the Big 10.
Sorry, I was paying
what I said was Iowa State is still going to be in contention for the Big 12 title.
Yeah.
And I think Iowa might win the Big
10. Yeah, I think I'm with you. We saw it last year. Iowa State was a slow starting team. So maybe it takes them a couple games. We'll see. Okay, onward. Texas figures out what it's like to play an easy game in the SEC. They lose to Arkansas 40-21. What's that about?
Oh,
what happened? What happened?
They storm the field afterwards, and then they get fined. Arkansas. They get fined. What, $100,000 from the NCAA? And it's like, okay.
From the SEC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, from the SEC, because they stormed the field. First off, SEC, we need to normalize storming the field. What the hell? Like, at Florida, you'd probably get shot if you tried storming the field. Like, we need to get back to that. Auburn can do it. I think Vanderbilt did it a couple of years ago. Because it's Vanderbilt. they should. I mean, even a win, they're going to pull a Kansas next time they win a game.
It's because of the liability, Davis. People get hurt trying to tear down the goalpost, and then they sue,
You know
Idiots.
what sucks about that logic is that people get hurt literally anywhere in any walk of life, but those students are literally drinking their body weight.
Yeah.
And you're worried about the welfare of these students when they rush the field?
That should be the ultimate defense. You rush the field? Yep. Were you drunk? Yep. Sorry, can't sue. That would be, and I, not legal advice yet, but I'm saying like that would be a good defense for it. I think they should do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. I think I didn't get to watch that game.
I didn't either.
I'm high on Arkansas though. I really do think they got something going. They're building a program out there, and it's a culture that loves football, and they want to get back to like Darren McFadden days where they're going to the SEC.
FSU should have hired Kendall Briles as their head coach.
Kendall Briles is a great coach, and he's branding it perfect for Arkansas football. Like I love his branding, and the defense really good. Although they're missing a couple players this week, so that might not be so good for Arkansas in their upcoming game. All right, BYU upsets Utah. Did you guys get to catch that game? I didn't, but they look very excited about it. I'm actually gonna watch it, like some highlights or something tonight when I get home. Cause
Fun fact, so my future brother-in-law, he is like a third-string quarterback, really a fourth-string quarterback for the Cougars. He might transfer, but apparently he might move to safety. But my future mother-in-law and future sister-in-law were at the game, and they stormed the field too, so they got to have some fun.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Hope they found
that. I want to storm a field.
Yeah.
I can never do that at Florida.
Well, you got to storm the field for the Miami game after the win.
Well, because I was there, yeah.
You were a reporter.
I was there under my capacity. I want to be a part of the fans and rush the field. God, that'd be awesome.
See, it's all in your heart, Davey boy. All right, moving on. Boston College again puts a 45 burger, but they allowed 28 points from UMass. I'm just pointing that out because Boston College actually has an offense this year, and we need to watch out.
Their quarterback got hurt though, but Boston College could be a problem.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're going to be a problem at all. I think it's going to be like Maryland.
How hurt?
It was Maryland a couple of years ago.
How hurt is he?
I don't know. I just know he got hurt.
All right.
I think Boston College will probably be like Maryland a couple of years ago, where they like beat the shit out of the two teams they played, scoring I think 70 points.
No, Boston College went from.
I think lost all but except 2 games the rest of the year.
Jerkovic has hand surgery, may sit the entire year. Hand surgery.
Boston College was terrible 2 years ago. They hired a new head coach. He made them extremely respectable last year. I think he is an awesome head coach. I can't think of his name right now. I apologize to him, but they're going to end up being a problem. I'm going to tell you. They're going to be a respectable team until he goes somewhere else.
All right. I'm only bringing this game up because I said watch out for Buffalo. They could beat Nebraska at Nebraska, and we talk mad shit about Nebraska. No one's talking about Scott Frost getting fired right now. They only beat Buffalo 28-3 though, but that's a good win in my book. Buffalo's a good team, even though they're a smaller school. All right.
Nebraska needs all the wins they can get.
UCF defeats Bethune-Cookman in Florida. I think FCS school 63-14.
That's racist.
This game, well, they're not a FCS school. They're a
HBCU.
HBCU.
So that's racist.
Okay. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. My bad. Anyway, NC State falls to Mississippi State. This was one of my locks. I had it wrong. I said NC State was going to win. I rewatched that game last night. Mississippi State opens the game. 100-yard kickoff touchdown return. So, kickoff return for a touchdown. I mean, that's a great way to start the game. Even if you take that away, they still won. Mississippi State's defense performed. And also, NC State's wide receivers dropped a lot of critical passes. This was... And it's not like they were completely catchable, like they were contended for. Mississippi State's defense was all over the NC State wide receivers. And Mike Leach, I don't know. I don't want to say he's got something going just yet, but it seems that he performs better when he's not playing SEC schools.
ACC's just down this year. It's going to be a tough year for everybody. So
It's
I
starting
don't
off
really have
bad.
much else.
You guys played SEC. I think you've lost to every SEC school right now. Like
Boston College might be the best team in the conference this year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Vautech, I love Vautech. By the way, I don't know if we're going to talk about him.
Mhm.
I bet on him every week. I've won every week. I'm betting on it again this week.
Nice,
Anyway.
nice. I like Virginia Tech too. I do. And you got anything to say about Vautech or NC State and Mississippi State, Davis?
Yeah, well, I don't think the ACC is going to be much going with what Joey said, but I'm going to give some love to Virginia Tech.
Yep.
They looked really decent. I can't give them too much credit. They look decent against North Carolina. They're probably going to be one of the best teams in the ACC.
They have a bye. Do they have a bye week too?
No, Virginia Tech. They played Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
They covered by a pretty large margin. No, last week.
Okay.
Gotcha.
No, I still think Clemson's going to be the best team in the ACC by the end.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's still early for them. DJ Uyunglele, although, I mean, he's definitely not Trevor Lawrence when he was a freshman. I think he's going to settle in and be fine.
No, but it's going to be a fun race to watch, that NC State Virginia Tech race in the ACC Coastal Division. Again, another game that we're not going to talk about, and I'll just go quickly. North Carolina State minus like 26.5 was my most confident bet in my pool. It was my 5-point bet of the week. I didn't make it a lock because it wasn't a big game. They won that game easy. That's going to be a fun race for the Coastal Division champ between North Carolina and Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech might win it just because they beat North Carolina. But anyway, I'll stop.
That's good analysis. I like that. That was good. The last big game, well, not last big game. We got two more big games we want to cover. This was an SEC matchup. SEC East, Missouri visited Kentucky, came out with a loss. Kentucky wins. Kentucky, yes. Good job. The Stoops is stooping. All right. And I got to watch that game. That was a fun game to watch. It went back and forth, honestly.
Dude, Stoops has been at Kentucky for a long time now.
He's building a good program. He's got the guys to do it. They just fuck up. They just Kentucky fuck it up. They're drinking too much
FSU
moonshine.
didn't hire Kendall Browse. They should have hired Mark Stoops because Mark Stoops wanted the job.
Yeah, Stoops' family has Florida ties. Bob Stoops used to be the offensive coordinator under Steve Spurrier at Florida, and then I'm pretty sure didn't Florida State have a Stoop as well?
Mark Stoops was our defensive coordinator, Jimbo Smith's first 3 years.
Yeah.
Before he took the job at Kentucky.
Yep.
Said we hired Mike.
No, they're ignorant.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
The game of the week last week was Oregon, Ohio State, 11 a.m. start time. It was a good game. This was one of my locks. I had Ohio State. No, wait. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was not one of my locks. But I did have Ohio State winning. And I was wrong. But it's because I was down on Oregon because they didn't have Kayvon Thibodeau. And even without Thibodeau, their defense still had a few red zone stops. Still had a good game.
Yeah, that was a tough one because I'm happy for Oregon. I think as a fan I wanted them to win, but I locked Ohio State covering the spread and was so wrong, like way wrong. So good win for Oregon. This is a huge win for the Pac-12 to go into that area, go into the horseshoe and beat them the way that they did is a huge win for the Pac-12. Oregon, they actually look like a serious contender. And the Pac-12 has never had a team win a national championship under this current playoff era. They had Oregon go to the national championship against Ohio State, but they lost. So this was a huge win for them and a huge win for the Pac-12. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'll take my victory lap on this one. I might have been that 3-hour podcast we did last week. I might have been drunk by the time this pick started and might have been stumbling around. But if I didn't pick this game right, it was one of my locks. Ohio State just didn't impress me, and I thought Oregon, they're a well-coached team. Mario Cristobal is a very good coach. And even though they didn't have Thibodeau, they still, they just outplayed Ohio State. They really did. And I think Ohio State's going to be fine in the long run. But right now, Oregon's got a real clean path to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Davis, I will say real quick, you went over 3 on your locks last week because Tennessee also lost to Pitt, and that's just a heartbreaker for the Volunteers.
I told you I had an awful week. Last week, I lost most of my games. I was 0 for 3 on my locks, and I got my ass kicked in fantasy football. I had Aaron Rodgers as my starting quarterback. What the fuck? Who would have seen that coming? Jameis.
Hey,
right now.
Hey.
Who cares?
We're moving on to week 3. That's all right. Sorry,
it was a rough.
Wait, why don't you tell everyone what my score was on locks?
Yeah, Joey, you went 3-0. I went 2-1 because of that NC State game, and I'll take that. I will take that because I had a lot of confidence in NC State. I still do. I think they dropped a lot of passes and made some critical mistakes. Mississippi State was the best team that day. That's fine. I'll make a comeback. We're moving on to week 3. So wait, do you think Aaron Rodgers is gonna get better?
It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh man, set it up. Sorry, bud.
I will tell you this. I hope this
no.
wine gets better because it's not good. Snoop Dogg can't make wine.
No, you just don't
You
like
got to be high. How high are you?
Yeah, you just
I'm not high at all.
yeah.
Although I could.
You got to be way more high.
Yeah, you have to smoke.
I have that Delta 8.
There you go. Yeah. No, the rosé is okay. I tried that one. I'm not a big rosé guy, but he has other wines. Try the other wines. You might.
He has other ones.
Yeah, he has other ones. You might just not like rosé. I think it's a darker red. It's pretty good. Anyway, I'm not plugging Snoop Dogg anymore. Okay.
Although if he wants to sponsor this podcast, he can.
Oh hell yeah! Okay.
I'll drink his wine every podcast if he's sponsored.
Yeah, me too. Also, Snoop Dogg is like one of the best commentators all time. Like low key, anytime he does like a commentating gig, like on the Olympics or the Nat Geo shit, it's fucking hilarious. And even my dad, who is not fond of hip hop culture, let's just say that, loves Snoop Dogg. Loved him and Kevin Hart during the Olympics, and loved watching all the funny stuff he does. So Snoop Dogg, if you ever happen to see this, we will love to get sponsored by your wine and by your weed and wine, and we'll change the show to Snoop Dogg's college football weed and wine extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Dude, I mean, you gotta have the extravaganza. We were talking earlier. I hated that name beforehand, but I think all we had to do is add some confetti one day, and boom, extravaganza. All right, moving on. UCF at Louisville.
Where's the?
Oh wait. What do you want? You want the?
Yeah, there it
that's
is.
for the game of the. I say that for the game of the week. It's okay.
Nah, I like it.
Week 3, Louisville hosting the UCF Knights. I think UCF gets the win. That's all.
Louisville looks terrible. I love UCF minus 6.5. I wish I would have saw this line earlier in the week because I would have bet it, but UCF minus 6.5. Not locking it in, but yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lock it in either. David,
I'm locking it in. UCF is gonna definitely do that.
Jesus, first lock of the win for 6.5. Okay.
Right away. No, because actually, I didn't even know it was 6.5 until Joey said something, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, sign me up, let's do it. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotta. All right. You guys talk about Cincinnati, Indiana. I gotta go get a pen.
Oh, okay. I love this game. This is actually a lock for me. Cincinnati, Indiana, like it's crazy low. Let me find it on here. 3.5 for Cincinnati.
3.5.
Cincinnati is probably, I think, like we talked about earlier, if there's any week or any year that group of 5 teams going to make the playoff, it's this year, and the team's Cincinnati. 3.5 is crazy low. Indiana has not looked impressive at all. I'm locking in Cincinnati minus 3.5, and this is actually not just a lock. This is my lock of the year.
Whoa.
This is the easiest bet.
Oh, so
easiest bet all year. They're going to win by 28.
So I'd
take them minus 25.5.
I absolutely love Cincinnati. In fact, I was listening to another podcast that Kurt Herbstreit was on. He said a couple of things have to fall in place. Cincinnati, with their schedule, with the opponents that they do have, Notre Dame being one of them.
Pardon my take.
Yeah, with an undefeated season, they will make it into the 4 slot for the playoff. And I think Indiana, a win here, is a notable win. It's a Big Ten school. It's at Indiana. Just like they're going to go to Notre Dame and play them there. You get wins at these places, those should be good wins. Now, I think I see why it's 3.5 is because Indiana is a pretty decent team and it's at their home and
Are they a decent team
at home? They've upset people at home. I think that's what Vegas is thinking is that they'll play tough at home. I'm not locking this in, but I do have Cincinnati winning.
I thought Indiana was a decent team to start the season, and then that opening game against Iowa was terrible. And maybe Iowa was just a good team, but I think Cincinnati's at least as good as Iowa. So I don't know. Indiana's got a lot of room to improve to be only a 3-point underdog against Cincy.
Mm-hmm. Aflac policyholders have been paid $37 billion directly. That's a lot of money.
Is that Nick Saban?
Yeah, Nick Saban had to hop in there.
Apparently,
it's also brought to you by Aflac.
Yeah, apparently Nick Saban likes D's nuts jokes. I don't know if you guys got that meme I sent on Instagram, but not meme.
So do I.
It was like who doesn't like D's nuts joke? All right, I skipped over Maryland and Illinois. I'm high on Illinois this year, so I got Illinois winning that game. If anyone wants to comment on that, no. All right,
Maryland.
Maryland, you got Maryland winning?
I'm sorry. I think I'm still pissed off at Maryland from a couple of years ago because I remember specifically praising them and saying this is the dark horse team of the Big Ten, and then I was embarrassed the rest of the year. So nope, I have nothing to say about it.
All right, this Oklahoma-Nebraska renewal of their rivalry, old Big 12 rivalry. Oklahoma's favorite minus 22.5. Do we like Oklahoma that much?
So no, I don't like Oklahoma that much. Spencer Rattler's really off to a slow start this year. Maybe he does.
Oh, is he?
I know. I was giving him a lot of love.
They just put up 62 or 72 points against a nobody, but still 72.
A nobody. I mean, that's nothing really to run to the Heisman Trophy with.
No.
I mean, again,
the favorite.
It's a long year. Oklahoma's going to win the game, but I don't know, man. They're just not. They're not doing what I thought they were going to do. Maybe I'm reading too much into Tulane.
Maybe we are. Maybe we aren't. But I don't trust them either. I'm not going to spend a lock on this. I think Oklahoma wins the game, but I'm not spending a lock on it. I don't know. I don't like Nebraska either, though. So
I hate both the teams.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Garbage bowl.
Yep. Garbage bowl.
I just love. I'm gonna relish Davis saying that about Spencer Rattler because the last 2 podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, I was big on Spencer Rattler, but I didn't think he was going to win the Heisman per se. But I was still big on him. I thought he was really good. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Let me give my take on the Cincinnati game. I'm not impressed with Cincinnati at this moment in time. Last week they didn't.
Well, you're stupid.
Last week, who they beat last week by barely anything. They played Murray State. It ended up being 42-7.
They covered by a large margin.
They scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, though. So it was 21-7 in the third quarter. I'm not like Murray State. Woo! Like they're not a good team. I'm not sure I like Cincinnati enough to make this a lock, even at the 3.5. I'm not gonna do it.
Boo.
Yep. Sorry. Moving on. Virginia Tech at West Virginia, however, sitting at the minus 2.5 for West Virginia. I'm taking that all day. This is my first lock of the week. I'm going Virginia Tech Hokies all the way. They beat West Virginia at West Virginia.
So this is, again, I have the 5 bets. This is my number 2 bet, so my 2-point bet. So it's my 4th most confident bet. So we'll call it an honorable mention lock. It doesn't count for the thing. Virginia Tech, I told you I loved them. I don't understand this spread. I just think the wrong team's favored here. I mean, look at the records. Virginia Tech beat a good North Carolina team. I don't think they're a great North Carolina team. I think they're a good North Carolina team, and they took care of business against the other team. West Virginia 1-1. What have they done to start the season? Really nothing. I mean, Virginia Tech's going to win. Plus 2.5 is just – it's a gift. It's a sucker line.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they lost to Maryland to open the year. West Virginia did. They beat Long Island University. Yippee!
Solid defense.
I thought that
Solid.
was
They do have a solid. They have a good safety. Heisman hopeful.
Huh?
I'm not gonna. If you haven't caught on by this point, Davis, I'm not even gonna say anything.
I'm moving on. I'm with Joey. I don't see the hype with West Virginia right now. I
think you're with me too, man. I
I-
don't see the hype either.
Yeah, like Virginia Tech, they're certainly one of the best teams in the ACC. I think they really like West Virginia because it is kind of a tough place to play at. That's actually a game I'd love to see, a college football game.
Just because you have the most drunk crowd doesn't mean it's the toughest place to play.
Hey, man, you get rowdy, make the other team a little scared. You never know. But no, I like Virginia Tech. I was like thinking about it, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and waste 2 locks already. Let's do it. Lock this in.
Nice. All right, cool. Lock the Virginia Tech in.
See, this is one of those games, like when you look at it from the betting perspective, it's like the line is so outrageous. Like, it doesn't make any sense that it's minus 2.5 West Virginia, that you can't just like, it makes you question it. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
does Vegas know something I don't?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yep. I agree with you. All right.
And we're going to talk about the Miami line. It's going to do the same thing anyway.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and talk.
Touch it.
We'll go ahead and talk about the Miami line. I wanted to shout out Coastal Carolina. I think they do get Buffalo their favorite by 14 points. I like that. But the Miami game, Miami's favorite -6, and they're ranked number 24 in the nation. And as I alluded to earlier, I am making this my lock because I got Michigan State. I like Michigan State. I love Michigan State's running back. He scored 4 touchdowns in the opening game. Let's see, who am I talking about?
Can y'all guess what the line opened up as?
No, what was it?
Miami -16.
No.
That is egregious. That is egregious.
It opened up as Miami -16, and the line was bet all the way down to -6. Again, this is it's so crazy that you almost have to bet Miami because they're begging you to bet Michigan State. It's like, what does Vegas know that I do not? I'm not touching this game because I think Michigan State's going to beat the shit out of Miami. I think Miami is bad. But I also think the people at Vegas are smarter than I am. So I'm not fucking with them.
Yeesh. Yeah, it's weird, man. The last couple of weeks, you and I have been just so on opposite spectrums, but we're agreeing a lot today. I'm not touching this game at all. I don't know what Miami's going to do at home. There's going to be like 3,000 people in the stadium. I don't really know Michigan State well enough. I have not paid attention to them at all. I didn't even know that their running back scored 4 touchdowns in the opening game. So I'm just not gonna worry about this game, and I'm gonna just.
I'll tell you, Michigan State always has a good defense, but never an offense. This year they actually have some semblance of an offense, and so that's why I got them.
They look good, which is weird because the first 2 games Miami's played look terrible, and it just makes no sense to me.
Yep. No, doesn't make any sense, but that's okay.
It's going to end up being a free money game, and we're all going to be scratching our heads.
Okay, we'll touch on this one because I think it's an interesting looking ball game. Minnesota at Colorado. I'm not going to waste a lock on it. I'm going to throw a pick out here. I'm going to go with Minnesota. Just cause. Fuck it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like but it's two good name schools, so we'll go over it. Any picks? Y'all want to throw a pick out there?
Daniel Jones just ran for a long ass touchdown, but it's gonna get called back.
Damn.
No, I have no pick on this game.
All right, that's fine. Purdue at Notre Dame.
This game intrigues me. It only intrigues me because Notre Dame was garbage against Toledo. And keep in mind, this is a home game for Notre Dame. Doesn't change anything for me. And then I think about, how they played against Florida State, and Florida State, of course, losing. When it comes to betting, I'm not going to put any money on this game. They're favored by 7. Purdue is undefeated. I think that this will end up being a pretty interesting ball game. I'm leaning towards taking Purdue. Damn it, Purdue.
Purdue.
I almost had to go to Purdue today.
Purdue has a solid defense.
They do.
No, I think I actually am tempted to think that Purdue may cover the spread, but I'm not locking anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lock anything either.
Yeah, I'm not either, but this is a put up, shut up game for Notre Dame. They really need to come out and stomp the shit out of Purdue. And to be honest with you, that kind of makes me lean Notre Dame -7. But I'm not confident enough in them for any locks or bets or anything.
Mm-hmm. I'm leaning Notre Dame, but I think Purdue is probably better than Toledo, probably better than FSU, but I don't know that. I don't know that about Purdue, so I can't say for sure. But I will say this. If they lose this game, it's going to be a rough fucking season for Notre Dame because they have Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, USC, North Carolina, Navy, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Stanford. That's the rest of the schedule. That's the rest of your season if you're a Notre Dame fan. You're not like you got to get real good real fast. Things got to change.
I don't know if they do. Name that schedule again.
Wisconsin, they lost a close one to Penn State. Cincinnati,
loss.
Virginia Tech,
loss. Oh shit, you're right. Okay, now there you go. You can stop. You're right.
First 3 games. I mean,
loss.
Tough one.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. So you better win this one. You got to get it. At least you have him at home. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Moving on. Okay. Where am I? All right. Iowa can stay. That's fine. Alabama at Florida. Here we go. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Alabama at Florida.
Yeah.
Bro.
I don't have much hopes at all. We have not beaten Alabama since 2008. I was still living in Tampa, and every now and then, just because I watch highlights of that game, just so I can be happy to be a Gator fan. That's the last time we beat Alabama, and I don't think that's going to change this year. Alabama's just a damn good football team. Florida is inconsistent right now with the quarterback position. Going back to what I wanted to mention earlier is that Emory Jones is going to start the game, and I know we haven't seen a whole lot, and I know, Robert, you mentioned earlier that you want him to get more into a groove. He's not going to get into a groove against Alabama, but there's no way in hell he is. I go back to Richardson, which, by the way, he's the leading rusher in this game. Richardson is the leading rusher. Jacob Copeland, out of Pensacola, he's the leading receiver.
Trash.
I don't think any of that matters. Right now, all I do know is that Richardson has been the better quarterback. Why the hell are we still going to put Emory out there in this moment? Now, we're going to see both quarterbacks. That's for damn sure. But right now, Emory has looked so inconsistent. You want him starting against Alabama when Richardson clearly has been that spark plug for the Gators offense? Look, if Richardson sucks, then you can put Emory in there and then let's just see what happens. But if he's inconsistent against 2 not great football teams, all of a sudden he's going to pick it up against Alabama. I find it hard to believe. So Alabama's favored to win this game by 14.5. Shit, they'll probably cover, but I'm not going to waste any locks on it. I have another game in mind. But I am not thrilled about Dan Mullen's decision-making especially when it comes to the quarterback position right now. And I love the guy as a coach. I do, but I just don't know what his infatuation is right now with Emory Jones. Maybe he's just hyping him up. He's supporting his quarterback. But the better option is sitting on the bench, man. Why aren't you using it?
I mean, what I said earlier, he's not going to use everything he's got before the Alabama game, right? And even Jacob Copeland alluded to it earlier. Like we have not been using our whole playbook. We don't want to show our hand against Alabama. So I'm curious to see if that's true. If they pull out any tricks out of their sleeve per se, but I think you're right. I think Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson offer the same thing. It's a dual threat quarterback situation where they're both not the best passers, but they're still pretty good passing the ball. But Anthony Richardson, from the looks of it, looks like he's the more explosive player. It gives you that big play ability. I think if we have any chance of even being close to winning this game, Richardson's got to play a lot. He's got to play more than half of the drives, of the snaps. I think you got to win with both of them, though, because Richardson can also make mistakes. I watched the Missouri game last year live. Richardson fumbled the ball once, and then he also had a really bad decision. So Dan Mullen's not wrong when he says Richardson is missing reads, because he does. And you miss a read, you miss a protection read against Alabama, you're getting hit on the blind side, you're fumbling the ball, they're picking it up, scooping, and scoring it.
Is this correct where it says Anthony Richardson has 11 carries for 275 yards?
Mm-hmm.
That's insanity.
Yeah, dude,
I mean, that's
insane.
Almost 30 yards a carry.
Oh, he gets nothing but long runs. He's like a Lamar Jackson. I think I compare him to Lamar Jackson, but he's bigger. He's like 6'5".
So here's the thing. This is how you know how indifferent I am about Florida State football. Is I'm going to compliment Florida. I want Dan Mullen to leave so bad. Like, that guy can coach fucking football. That's all he does. And you guys, what you guys are saying about his quarterback decisions, I agree with. He doesn't make the best decisions. He didn't at Mississippi State, but he's still a good football team. I hope the pros come calling. I hope they take him away and we don't have to deal with him anymore. And Florida hires Jim McElwain back. But here's the thing.
Fuck you! No way, dude.
I wish
death threats then.
No.
I wish that evil upon you, Ricky Bobby. But here's the thing. The worst time to try to figure out who's going to play quarterback for you is against Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a quarterback controversy. You just can't. You're going to start Emory Jones. Emory Jones is not good. Emory Jones is just not this caliber of quarterback. An SEC starting quarterback, especially against Alabama. It's going to get bad. Alabama's probably going to go up. He's going to have two bad drives. And then they're going to throw in the new kid, and Alabama's going to feast on it. I love Alabama here. I really do. I love them minus 14.5. I think they win by 28. Lock it in for me, Alabama.
Yeah. I'm not going to lock it in. I do like Alabama here. I think Nick Saban is just being disappointed with his team. It's just semantics at this point.
This is my second most confident game of the week.
Yeah, Alabama is a wrecking ball machine right now. Clearly, the best team in the nation. I don't know what else to say. Like I said earlier about Miami the first week, this is the national championship game. If you're the Florida Gators, Gators, you prep for this game just like the national championship, which means hopefully last week you were even looking up Alabama tape and saying like, we'll take our chances, not looking at South Florida's tape a little bit. I don't know.
I think right now, to be honest with you, Oregon with Thibodeau is the only team that could even get close to Alabama, but they have to grow a lot. Like, I don't see another team in the nation that can get anywhere near them right now.
Yeah.
And that includes Georgia and Clemson. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Georgia, honorable mention that we saw a reappearance of Stetson Bennett, the mailman. The mailman delivered on his packages this week. Georgia scores 56, actually allowed a touchdown from UAB, so 7. Someone finally scored on Georgia this year. Georgia does look pretty good. That's got to be said. Davis, dude, mute your shit. I'm tired of it. Mute it. Just do it.
It's weird how like it will just randomly play.
No, it says every time you open a page in ESPN, it fucking plays. It's like every single time.
All right, I'm just getting out of it. I've closed my browsers.
Fucking
It's not
ridiculous. It's like every show. God. Okay. I was gonna beat Kent State. Clemson plays Georgia Tech. I don't know if you got a take on this, Joey. I got Clemson beating Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is absolute dog shit this year.
I right now I don't trust Clemson minus 28 against anybody. I got to see more.
I don't trust a minus 28 either, if that makes sense. But I'm not gonna lock it or anything. Did you have a second lock? All I got you on Cincinnati. Is that it?
I had Cincinnati and Alabama.
Oh, you just locked in Bama. Okay, that's fine. Bama 14.5. That's fine. Okay, Florida State, Wake Forest, traveling to Wake Forest.
I don't have a take.
You're wearing the shirt. You gotta have a take. Wake Forest is favorite minus 4.5. I don't know. I'm not gonna take that. I don't know much about the Demon Deacons.
You know what? Give me Florida State. They've got to get their first win.
I mean, what do you want?
I don't know, man.
What-
you gotta.
what do you expect?
We are
What do
like
you
a
expect?
Florida-based podcast. Like we gotta.
What do you expect out of this team? I mean, they just had the worst loss in the history of Florida State football.
Maybe they like playing away games. Maybe they're a travel team.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say here. I mean, I have nothing. I really have nothing.
All right.
I mean, they should have after the Notre Dame game. I would have picked them to win.
Mhm.
I don't. I really don't have anything to say.
All right, moving on. Let's see, a bunch of no-one games. USC at Washington State. If anyone wants to give a pick on that, I'm very unsure about USC at this moment, especially without the head coach, and I'm not sure about Washington State. So I'm not gonna comment on that. Anyone around the room? Same. All right,
Who cares?
here we go. Washington.
Who cares?
Double who cares? Don't even care that they lost to Michigan last week, and Michigan has another cupcake game in Northern Illinois. Michigan has not been tested yet. I'll go ahead and say that I didn't mention them on purpose because Washington is not a good team. The first week they were one of the teams that lost to an FCS school, Montana. They lost to Montana.
I think Michigan's a big question mark team this year. They could compete depending on what Ohio State does. I don't think Ohio State's dead. I think they're still going to compete for a playoff spot. But if for some reason they just have a bad off year, I think Michigan could come in there and compete for that Big Ten East title.
Mm-hmm. Here's one: Georgia and South Carolina. South Carolina with a 46-0 win over EIU the first week, and a 20-17 squeaker against East Carolina. Now they go to the number 2 team in the nation. They play between the hedges against the Bulldogs. I think Georgia's got this all day. That 31.5 spread, I don't know, just because Kirby Smart team, they tend to like to run the ball whenever it's against your SEC schools, and they tend to like to grind it out.
Yeah, I don't like Georgia minus 31.5 against anybody. I'm not going to – I think they are 31.5 points better than South Carolina, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they're going to outscore them by that. So South Carolina's trash. Georgia's going to be fine. They're going to be a top 10 team. So Georgia to win, not taking the spread.
Yep. Oregon bumps up to number 4 this week. They host nobody Stony Brook. So I'm going to have fun watching highlights of this game and seeing some Oregon players just absolutely go off. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, no spread, Oregon.
Nope. Yep. All right. North Carolina hosts Virginia. I'm going to take North Carolina. I'm not going to lock it in or anything.
So
I don't – go ahead, Dave.
I was North Carolina got a rebound win against Virginia, 2-0. They're favored by 8. And this Virginia team, I watched them a little bit last week. They looked like
I don't know. I like Virginia too. They beat a good Illinois team. Well, maybe not a good Illinois team. Maybe a decent Illinois team. I wouldn't be surprised if they win.
Virginia's not going to win this game. But the Virginia has good coach Bronco Mendenhall. He really fits in at Virginia. He doesn't want to be.
Bronco.
What are you laughing at?
Bronco.
He doesn't want to be at a big school. He wants to be at a Virginia. He wants to try to build that kind of team up, but they're just not there yet. I like North Carolina to win. The -8's tough just because I'm just not in love with North Carolina this year. The only reason I had them in my pick 'em last week was because it was one of those fuck you games where they lost the week before they're going to come out and prove themselves the next week. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win by 7. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him win by 21. So,
Gotcha.
They're going to win either way.
All right, onward. Some people have Tulane beating Ole Miss. I don't think so. I think Lane Kiffin's back from the COVIDs. Ole Miss runs rampant, and Ole Miss beats Tulane better than Oklahoma did. That's my.
This is my least most confident pick, but I have Ole Miss on my card -14. They're going to kick the shit out to them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Tulane is not a good team. I think they are a good team, but I think Ole Miss's offense is just going to outscore Tulane. Yep.
I personally, I'm a pretty big fan of their quarterback at Ole Miss. His name Matt Carroll.
Yep, Matt Carroll.
I'm a fan of Matt Carroll. That guy can move the ball. He produces points. Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin.
Wait, you talking about quarterback at Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Corral.
Yeah, Corral. Yes.
Corral.
Golden Corral.
Oh yeah. He is. His dad is the CEO of Golden Corral.
No, he's not.
No shit. What?
No, you're dumb. That's so dumb.
If his dad was the CEO of Golden Corral, that quarterback would be like 400 pounds.
Davis was like. All right. Did you have a take on it, or am I?
No, other than I have Ole Miss winning.
All right, good. Ole Miss wins. The Nerd Bowl, Stanford at Vanderbilt. I got Stanford winning. Vanderbilt sucks.
Yep.
Get out of the SEC. We need to.
I have no idea.
Get Vanderbilt out of the SEC. I'm tired of it. Bring someone else in.
Probably, but what the fuck's going on in Stanford this year? Like, they're just the biggest mystery so far.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right. Oklahoma State at Boise State. Dude, I have not watched Oklahoma State this year.
I haven't watched Oklahoma State yet this year either.
But they're playing at Boise State. I'm going to take Boise State just because.
I have Boise State.
Okay.
That's going to be a big win for them.
I haven't watched either of these teams. I'll take Oklahoma State, but I'm not locking it in just to be contrarian.
Is Boise State ranked? Yeah. Are they ranked?
No.
They've lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
I still like them.
They lost to UCF, and they had like a 21-point lead.
Yeah, that was that fun game week 1.
The 3-hour weather delay.
It took so long.
Okay. Arizona State goes to Mormon country. They go to BYU and they're favorite -3.5. This is a ranked ball game, number 19 at number 23. I like Arizona State here, but I also do like BYU to squeak it out. I don't know. I'm not going to waste a lot. I'm going to go with Arizona State.
I like BYU here. I'm saving my lock. Otherwise, I would lock it in. I like BYU. It's like an honorary lock.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of these teams this year. I don't have to take.
Yep. Honorable mention game, Fresno State at UCLA. I think Fresno State has lost 2 close games to 2 Pac-12 teams, but Fresno State's a good team. They're going to lose again. UCLA is a good team this year. They got the Chip Kelly offense moving.
Chip Kelly put the visor on. He starts winning again.
Yep.
I'm not locking this one in, but I will say when you do the betting research, the public is on Fresno State, but the money is on UCLA. So if you're going to bet, go with the money. Bet on UCLA.
I think I would too. I think UCLA is a very good team. Okay. And now it is time for the game of the week. All right, here we go. Week 3, game of the week. I got Davis with the fart. Auburn goes to Nittany country and they play Penn State. What do we think about this one? It's going to be a whiteout, and Auburn's going to be wearing the white.
Is this the game of the week, really?
This is the college football game of the week. I like this game better than Alabama Florida this week, or else I would have said Alabama Florida is the game of the week. It was a toss up.
Yeah, I mean, not really many games here. I like Penn State. I even like the -5. Bo Nix is terrible on the road. I was a big for those of you like 3 or 4 guys who listen to this podcast at the beginning of last year, Bo Nix is a Heisman guy for me. He looked terrible last year, and I just don't think he's very good overall. I think he kind of was a one-year wonder as a freshman. I mean, he beat Alabama as a freshman, but I like Penn State this year. I really do. I guess I'll tell you my lock after this game because we didn't go over my lock, my third one.
Mhm.
But anyway, Penn State -5.5. It's the bet. I think Auburn's extremely overrated.
Mm-hmm. You locking it?
No, I got another lock.
Okay. Then go over it. All right, that's fine. I am looking at some stats here. Penn State has allowed 205 yards passing and 124 yards rushing, while Auburn has only allowed 21.5 yards rushing and 160 yards passing. Points per game, Auburn scored 61 points a game. Penn State's at 30. Points allowed per game, Auburn's at 5. Penn State's at 11.5. So
who has Auburn played in the first 2 games?
I mean, definitely no one last week, but
because Penn State played Wisconsin in their first game and they scored like 17 points. So
Auburn's
that means
played
if they're averaging 31, then that means they scored like 70 points in their second.
Yeah, Auburn's played 2 nobodies, but also they played them like you're supposed to play them when you have a good team. Penn State played Ball State last week, and
Wisconsin beat them.
And Wisconsin is still a question mark for me. I don't know how good Wisconsin is. They only beat them 16-10. So I am gonna lock this one in. This is the game of the week. This is risky, but I'm gonna go Auburn wins at Penn State. War Eagle. War damn Eagle.
Okay, so we have 1 Penn State, 1 Auburn.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do what I did last week. I think I went a little too back and forth with Ohio State and Oregon. A part of me thought, oh, maybe Oregon would do something, but no, Ohio State's going to do it. And I went for Ohio State, and I lost. I think I thought too heavily in that ball game. This one, Happy Valley is always a tough place to play at. That's another place where I want to go see a college football game really bad.
Me too.
It just seems awesome. But I'm going Auburn.
Oh.
And I'm locking it in.
Oh.
I'm locking it. I'm using my last lock on this ball game, and here is why. Bo Nix.
Sorry, I lock you up. Oh, let me lock you up.
Bo Nix had a good first year, good freshman year. Did not have a great sophomore year.
Mm-mm.
It was a bad sophomore year.
It was.
Joey's right. He's not good. He's not good on the road. He gets flustered. Like,
Dude,
remember
he's
him in
thrown
the
13 interceptions in his career, 13, and 12 of them are on the road.
What a stat, dude! Wow. Hang on, Davis. Hang on. That's a stat, son. Let's go.
Hey, good job. Hey, I always appreciate it when people can throw down facts, but on this one, I think he's due. I think the rest of this team is due. And what a first statement win for their new head coach. It would be an unbelievable win for Auburn to pull this one off. Keep in mind, Penn State was not a great team last year. They started turning it around. They're number 10 this year. I think they're given a little too much love right now. I think Auburn's going to win this ball game. And I need to use a lock, and I love having bold locks. Let's go ahead and throw this one down.
There we go. You're in double jam.
Yeah, Bo Nix killed Gus Malzahn, so and you guys are locking him down against Penn State in Happy Valley. Probably one of the top 5 toughest places to play, and he's a bad road quarterback. I mean, it's just a terrible pick.
I don't like Penn State. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't like them now.
I do.
I mean, if they win this game, I'm not gonna say that. I don't dislike Penn State, and I'm not heavy on Auburn, but from what I've seen, I think Auburn is really, really playing confident this year, and that's what you got to do.
They played nobody.
Yeah, they played no one, and this is the first true test, so I'm okay with taking a risk on them. Like if I took a risk on them, thinking they were good after they lost to Penn State and after they lost to like LSU or Georgia or something like that, I get it. But we haven't seen what their true potential is, and I think I'm betting on them, and it's a risky bet. It's okay.
Their potential is low. My my last lock is Ohio State minus 24.5 against Tulsa. Ohio State got beat last week. They're going to come out and just prove a fucking point against Tulsa because that's what the teams do. That's why I won money on North Carolina last week because they lost to Virginia Tech. They came out and just proved a fucking point against I don't even know who North Carolina played last week. It was some nobody. They're going to beat them by 45 points.
Yep. That's a good pick. I agree with you. And I didn't mean to skip over Ohio State and Tulsa. It actually just slipped my mind. But
no, it's a nothing game, but it's a lock.
Yeah, I respect Tulsa enough to mention them when they play a big team. So, all right, that's all I got. You guys got anything?
Let's see. Next week, may not be able to do the podcast. I'll be traveling to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. Might be my future home one day. We'll see. But going to go hang out with some of Amanda's friends for her birthday. It's going to be awesome. Going to a Padres game.
Nice.
Go Pods.
Well, Bob, if you're in Pensacola, we can do an in-person pod then.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We should do that. We can do the in-person pod for the first time in a while, and maybe I can get my nice camera set up, and we could do it live. I'll have to figure it out.
You want to do those a live in-person podcast without me? Fine.
Sorry, no, it's fine. I mean, we can once in a while. All right. And that's it for me this week.
You weren't there for the UWF one. That was fun.
That was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
Sorry, I was working.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Sometimes we got to do those things. I'm applying to a job in Orlando, so I might be headed back there sooner than I thought. We'll have to see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see what the podcast holds. But I love doing the live shit. Honestly, the Miami Florida game, that was so fun. And if we got more organized with it and handed out koozies, that's the ultimate goal, is to hand the people koozies with the logo on it. That's the ultimate goal.
Agreed.
Other than that, I'm satisfied. We got some good games this week. We'll see you next week. Follow us at CFBE Extravaganza, Instagram, Twitter, on the Higher Frequency Podcast Network, on YouTube. And go check out all the other podcasts while you're at it. Deuces.